We are going to continue doing some art assets for the Spelljammer Combat Exploration supplement that we're building. I'm going to check my signal, make sure that we are live and direct, and then I'm going to do my spiel, and then we're going to dive in for a couple hours worth of artwork. Whew, Dilly, what a day. Give me a hot second here to see if I am coming through. Sure sounds like it. Coolio. Sure sounds like that. You're supposed to be quiet now. Thanks, buddy. And let's see. If you follow me on Twitter, I've just posted that I'm live on Twitter, and you can follow me on Twitter too at Phil Kearney. Click down below. Description, same as my name. I'm just going to boost my signal across Discord here real quick while I walk through my spiel. And then we'll get things up and running. Hey, Nitro, it's good to see you, my dude. Let's see. Just to walk through my spiel, just to introduce myself, my name is Phil. I create RPG PDF supplements. I've been focusing mainly on 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. I publish them on the DMsGuild currently. There's a link down below in the description to a slew of books that I've already created that you can look through, 100% free preview, no cost. Just check out the work if you like it. Bring my microphone over here in the range so you can hear what I have to say. But yeah, all my work, there's about 150 some odd illustrations across the books that are posted in the link down below. If you're on a mobile phone, when you peel open one of those individual supplement pages, you're going to see an eye icon on the right-hand side of the page. And if you are on a tablet or desktop, you will see a full preview link underneath the cover title, which would look like, well, once this published, it'll look like this. But we're not there yet. We're still a work in progress. But you can click on any of those and open up a PDF. You can read the entire document. You can run an entire 120, like a 1 to 20 campaign if you want to. See if you like it. If you do, I would certainly appreciate if you pick up a couple of the books just to support the work. So I'm going to click like, subscribe, hit the bell. It's the best way for me to be able to boost my signal until... I don't know. I guess that's just how algorithms work these days. So this is a book cover that I created back around episode 15 of the Spelljammer playlist. That is on my playlist on my channel page. I'm going to put some water in a glass, and I'm going to set a timer on my clock. And we are going to kick through for a couple hours here, creating some NPC asset tokens that will be used in virtual tabletop when you're playing Light as Araxis. Let's drop this and take a look at where we are at currently. That is Prince Zelith, the main villain in Light as Araxis. Spoiler alerts. Too late. Sorry, Seymour. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to set my timer. We use a timer to make sure that I don't fall into any tangents or find myself spinning in an eddy of pixels. It's just an opportunity to knock myself free and get back on course with what we're doing. And what are we doing? So right now we are creating this guy. We are doing page layouts in the background off screen. I got about a 98-page document on Spelljammer physics, combat, exploration, interaction, scaling, flying through space, exploring the astral plane. And at the back end of it, there's a 25-page conversion guide. If you want to play the Light as Araxis adventure, you can use the mechanics that we've been building in Spelljammer's Combat and Exploration to completely change the experience so that it's more centered around you are in command of a starship with lots of weaponry and lots of threats to take it from you. So that's it all plays out the same way. I mean, like all the beats are there and the challenge is going from location to location. It's just that when you use this conversion guide, it's providing you with the tools to be able to use your ship as a bargaining chip or as a way to resolve trouble that comes up in the adventures that the original text assumed you would get off of your ship or get boarded by an enemy and fight like you're in a small dungeon or on top of a keep tower or something. That's kind of how they build ships with 5th edition. But we're always interested in scaling up the larger size and empowering your characters to have different types of negotiation powers inside of a campaign other than just asking permission. We believe that characters are built out of authority, so we help provide the tools for your characters to gain that authority in the adventures, to be able to throw their weight around and make demands that they can back up with legitimate threats. So if you're interested in that, stick around. We're going to be pounding out a crapload of art for it. We paint directly on the pages. If you check some of the previous streams, you see me basically throwing pixels onto the page with the text. You're certainly welcome to read the text as we go along. Once it publishes, I'll do a full walkthrough. I also have a virtual tabletop set up in Roll20, which is my weapon of choice in virtual tabletops. And so you can see how all the mechanics work together there. And we're going to create diagrams, pictures, and basically illustrations to show you how these ships can interact with each other at these different scales of size and distance. So you can get an idea of how these things work. But during the adventure, you have the opportunity to board and interact with characters, at the 5-foot scale. So it's imperative that we provide the tokens to do so, because unless you buy the book on Roll20, you don't have access to any of these assets. So we're creating these black and white versions, so it's a low cost for you to print them out at your table if you don't have a figurine that's proper. And then we'll also be coloring them so that you have true representation, little icons that you can pull into Foundry or Rodeo or wherever it is that you want to use them if you don't want to actually purchase the $80 or whatever supplement on Roll20. If you just want to buy this little like $20 document instead, you'll be able to tear through Wild Space and make a mess of their world. So long story short, too late. Let's push some pixels. Oy vey. I've had a rough day if it isn't showing already, so I am really appreciating the opportunity just to relax a little bit and let the muse take over and make life a little bit easy on my brain for a while. So I really just value the opportunity to just painting is zen time for Phil, and boy does he love it. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to explore. Hey, Hernetico, you has arrived. I have spoken. What up, my dude? Yeah, there we go. I'll be around for a couple hours. We'll see. I don't have specifically an end time other than I need to get some sleep in. I've got family that I'm going to be in town with this weekend, so I don't think I'm going to be streaming on Saturday, but I should still be attending tomorrow morning. So I'll be back bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in about 11 hours from now. I'll be back in the morning doing more of this. Well, maybe something else. Depends on what the muse wants me to do. It could be page art inside the actual document itself, or it could be more token work. It just depends on what she wants me to do. So it is my job to obey. The less I think, the better off we all are. But I am hoping, because I've been trigger happy all day, man. Work did a number on me today. I won't bore you with the details, but my heart and mind are just looking to unwind. So we'll see if much like the spice, if the pixels will flow. Thanks a lot for folks that have been subscribing. You know, I used to get 6 views a day when I started this process like a year ago, and I certainly haven't exploded because RPG design isn't quite as popular as like Fortnite or whatever. But I'm at the point now that I'm pretty consistently getting 30 views a day. I used to pick up 1 subscriber every 3 weeks, and I'm getting about 4 subscribers a week right now. So that's an indication I'm doing something right. I'm really excited about that. I figure once I get around 1,000 or so followers, that probably means I'll have enough momentum that I can start doing Kickstarters, so that I can pre-fund projects. So I I won't be dependent on the DMsGuild, because there's every likelihood that the DMsGuild is going to go away. I'm pretty convinced at this point that it is a limited time, which really pisses me off, because I really want to do some conversion guides for Descent into Avernus and the Dragonlance adventure, and I don't think they're going to be motivating me to do that. Like, really, really disturbed by that. So I'd love to be wrong. I don't think I'm going to be. I think I don't know. Like, them trying to shut stuff down seems to be an indication that they're going to try again. And I was watching DMsGuild stream with the guys that made I don't remember his name, but he created what is it? The not Zootopia. I can't remember the name of the role-playing game, the animal-based role-playing game. But he is convincing me that my time in the DMsGuild is going to come to an end pretty quickly. And that is disturbing me. I don't have to. Obviously, I've still got this Eberron book and this Spelljammer project that I'm working on, so it's going to be a while before I need to make any decisions. And I reckon by the time I need to make a decision about, like for example, Martial Powers, I assumed I was going to publish Martial Powers on the DMsGuild because that's where all my color mana mechanics are, and that book was intended for use with the color mana system, so that all 13 classes can be represented as using Magic the Gathering color magic, the mana system, and that book would complete that set. And so I'm thinking that might be the last piece that I do. Like, once this is done, maybe I'll do that, and then I'll have to reassess where we're at. The nice thing is that everything that I've been building here, as far as the scaling mechanics, the mass combat stuff, the martial power system, all of it is something that I already know how to convert into other systems. And I've got some neat ideas about my own role-playing game, but I mean, who the hell wants my role-playing game? So what I think I want to do is just figure out who's going to be the big winner when all this shit shakes out, and we see where everyone's going to, like, if Wizards bails on the creator community, we'll see, like, if Shadow Dark, for instance, becomes the winner, or if, well, it's not going to be Cobalt Press. Let's just be honest. I don't know what the hell those guys are doing. I mean, I wish them luck, but I just can't. I don't know where they're coming from. So I don't think this Black Flag thing is going to pan out for them. And I'd love to be proven wrong. Make me eat crow with good game design, please. Make me eat crow. I beg of you. But I don't know. Maybe I might end up in Essence 20. I like Essence 20. So, oh my God. Hey guys, thanks a lot. Lord, you the man, dude. How to RPG. Willard out over in New Zealand. I like watching his stream on Thursday to help unwind, and he tends to end his stream about the time that I start my stream, which is like literally now. So thanks, folks, for swinging by and saying hi. I stream 2 hours a day every morning here in Seattle, and I stream on Thursday and Monday nights for a couple hours about this time. And I also have a lunchtime stream on Monday where I do mechanic development for martial classes using an alternate spellcasting system that I will eventually publish on the DMsGuild. But like I've been talking, it may very well be the last thing I build on the DMsGuild. So, yes, Fred! Woot woot! Fred is building his own RPG, and the design goal of that RPG is to be simple enough that a 5-year-old can play. And he is making great strides in figuring out how simple the language needs to be, like explain it to me like a 5-year-old, you know, like DM to me like I'm a 5-year-old. And I think that's an amazing effort. So I'm really, I like showing up in the stream, and he is going through a lot of the same struggles in real time that I go through when I'm building stuff. So it's really fun to see. It's really cool to see people have the guts. I mean, obviously I'm patting myself on the back when I say this, but I think it's really cool to see people allowing themselves to be watched as they dive into unfamiliar water and risk making themselves look like a clumsy fool. Because I do that all the time. Like to step out into a space where you aren't sure where you're at or how successful you're going to be, but you try it anyway because it's what you want to do. Like I will say, courage is definitely being willing to embarrass yourself or to be humble enough to show that you are progressing in a skill set, like in front of people, like to let people watch you learn and become stronger at something that you're passionate about. I think that's real strength. Like that is strength. And it's really cool to see more and more people doing that. Taryn, Indestructiboy, is fearless in his design work and streaming, and I myself have always been willing to make a fool of myself in artwork like this, but I've also just this year gotten into developing 5e stuff live on stream as well, and it is liberating, allowing yourself to be humbled when you run into something that you don't know what the solution is, and you just got to fight it out. Like that struggle, everything is being served to us in like such a, like, this is supposed to be easy, or look how well I've mastered this thing. But I think the real heroes are the ones that are saying, look how hard this is. If you're struggling with this, don't worry about it, because it's fucking tough. So, hey. Sorry, man, I'm talking about you like you're not here. I don't look at my channel often enough, but seriously, man, mad props for the effort. Like being able to explain like just anything to a 5-year-old is just mind-numbing to me personally. For you to be able to try to teach a kid how to have structured imagination is nothing short of epic, in my opinion. So that's why I keep showing up to your channel, man, because it really is inspiring. And then he falls silent. Hey, Taryn. What up, my dude? You know what? I should probably turn on the pop out, because I fucking hate time delays. So I'm gonna mouth breathe here for a minute while I figure out how the hell this thing works. There we go. God, that text is tiny. There we go. That's more my blind size. And then let's fix that there and there, and that feels about right. Seriously, in a world where everything is being synthesized for us and we're not going to be able to tell what's real or not, authenticity is the only currency that's going to be left. Like, you being willing to wear your heart on your sleeve is going to be like having armor around your heart. It will be. I don't know the future. I don't know the cyberpunk future. I just know what Masamune Shiro tells us, and he is constantly telling us in Ghost in the Shell that integrity really is everything. Authenticity, sincerity, bravery, being willing to make mistakes in front of people where a computer will do it perfectly. That is art. It's you'll be able to tell who a human is because it won't be perfect. And it's going to become those flaws, those little subtle sketches, you know, where something feels just a little bit off, but it still looks good. Like I talk about style development all the time. An artist's style is developed from their inability to do something perfectly. Like this style that I've got going with this elf is because I'm not photorealistic. I can't paint photorealism. So the style that I develop is a way of making my flaws aesthetically pleasing so that you like looking at how shitty my art is. Like, look at Wayne Reynolds. His anatomy is garbage. if you like look how his stances are, like his back leg is like a third of, it's like 2/3 the height of his front leg, and that perspective doesn't make sense with what's going on waist up. But when you look at it, it's angular and dynamic, and it feels good. Ditter Lizzie's early art in Planescape was very similar. That the anatomy was wonky as hell, but God, it's gorgeous. Just gorgeous. So you don't have to be this. Speaking of fucking crap, what do I get going on over here? There we go. That's much better. Thank you. And then that's why your style evolves over time, because you become better and you become more photorealistic, or your style becomes so strong that you can, like, really good art lets your eye fill in the details for you. It lets your imagination pay the price. It's cool. It's really, really cool. And by God, I just can't do this helmet to save my fucking life. Here's the photo reference that we yanked out of the adventure book. Interesting. He's got a higher coif than I've got going on there. I don't know. Yeah, his is hitting about mid-ear, and I haven't done that, so I'm thinking, I was hoping to get done with this today, but it already feels like that's gonna just be like right out of the fucking toilet. Or maybe not. And just like that, I solved my helmet problem. Holy shit. Holy shit. Look what we got going on here, kids. Ooh, neat. I can do that. I have a hard time keeping up with painting and looking off to the side. If it's not a vector, it freezes up. I'm down when it comes to illustrations, so seeing guys like you, thanks. Yeah, it's taken me 30 years just to get this far, and fuck, I am nowhere near where I want to be. It is, I would say art is something. You know what? Honestly, I'm curious about how many artists, like lifetime professional artists, get dementia or Alzheimer's. They keep trying to tell us that it's the plasticity of the mind that saves you from those diseases, and I wonder if there's any statistics running around that can actually verify that's true or not. I'm told from the research that I like to listen to, Andrew Huberman is, I think he's at Stanford. He's a neuroscientist doctor. And from what he says, actually, a lot of the causes of Alzheimer's is insulin poisoning. That people that eat consistently every day for their entire life builds up toxins in their mind that causes it to break down. Hey, there's the 20-minute timer. So I've always been a fan of 1 meal a day fasting anyway, because I'm fat and I take efforts not to be. And starving myself is, they used to call it anorexia, but I guess now it's just smart. So I mean, hey, cheers, right? And all I need are cigarettes and a Gucci bag, and I guess I could be a model. But yeah, if that's true, then the act of keeping your body hungry, like literally hungry, could potentially keep your mind from rotting. So if you're a religious sort and you have a reason to fast every now and again, I say go for it. You got me monologuing again. So what we got going on here? If you look carefully at Peanuts comics, something over 50 years, and Schultz never drew Snoopy exactly. No kidding. You know, I used to read. They used to have like these big books of like years worth of Peanut comics that they would stack in these compilations, like Far Sides and stuff. And in grade school, we had a really nice. In Missouri, we had a really well-funded school library, and there was just shitloads of like Calvin and Hobbes, and Bloom County, and Charlie Brown, Peanuts. I would read that stuff like all the time. Instead of like actually reading. It was honestly, it was because the text was so small. I'm so blind that it's hard for me to read a lot of books, and at that age, it's embarrassing to, and you know, risky in the playground to show any kind of physical weakness. So I would read these comic books because the text, except for Boom County, fucked me over. But generally, those books had larger text fonts, so I could get away with grabbing those books when we were supposed to check out a book in the library because that was our assignment. But good memories, man. I love those books. They just, I love my childhood. I was so fortunate. There, just like that. Ah, got it. Lion's killing me. Get over here. Thank you. My next challenge on stream is to figure out a way to actually be able to read text and be able to paint at the same time. What a fucking pain in the ass. It's like real world struggles, yo. Where are we at? That is the... This is a 300 pixel image, so like when you're looking at it on VTT, it's gonna be like that. It's like, so this simple line art that we're kicking out here is sufficient for the like this is the black and white. Print this at home so you can have it on. Like if you don't have any minis and you don't want to use a D6, you can use this and all the other tokens that we've been building. And on color. When we drop color in on, I don't have to go insane with the detail because it's freaking tiny. It's good enough for the job that you need. You can scale the resolution or like the depth of quality that you have depending on how the medium is supposed to be consumed. So like if this was like an up close illustration like this, like all these little hair flipples would actually matter. I just did those out of habit, but it's probably not actually going to come through on the final version. So. Is drawing the same character different? Hell yeah, man. But every single frame of Ren and Stimpy is incredible. Man, Ren and Stimpy was intense. I loved like all those gross like close-up illustrations. I have never seen an animation that would just do like those are like center spreads. Like they're gross images, but they're center spread images. And they would burn like 5 seconds of animation time on a single frame of whatever that gross close-up look is that you're at. It was a style that also allowed them to manipulate the costs of production, but it also came across as a comic book. So like center spreads are to be looked at, like those action strike poses that you get for like a second in Marvel films. Like if I don't know how they would possibly have those, like have you hold your attention on those for like 5 seconds. You know, it's unique. It is a unique animation style, and I don't necessarily like the style, but how he does it is it's impressive. It's just impressive. Yes, that feels good. That is so much fucking better than it was a minute ago. Thank God. Alright, so now let's get back into this. Get in your face. Where are we at? Let's do this. Good enough at that scale. Ba-ba. This, I'm going to drop this down so I can tell which line is where, and that lets me do things like get rid of this jawline. There we go. Chip chop chiri chiru chirom. Dude, we finished watching the second season of Shadow and Bone. And I don't know if any of you guys watch that show, but the crows, like the B team, like there's always the epic, excuse me, my chair's all screwed up. There's always the epic superheroes, like the main characters with the love interest story and the epic quest to save the world. And then you got like the B team, which are like just like a bunch of punks that end up having a shitload of personality and character interaction. Because like the Scooby Gang, you know, like in Buffy's Scooby Gang, like the Slayer is the main character and she's got all the love drama and stuff like that. But like all the B cast characters are all the cool ones because they don't really matter. So you can do cool shit to them and they end up being a lot more interesting. But the point is that this season is Shadow and Bone. Those B cast, the crows, they're all super cool characters. Like if I was in a D&D team with those guys, I would be happy to play that campaign for years because that was just a badass team. If you aren't watching Shadow and Bone, it's definitely worth your time. Super cool show. And the third season of Picard is fucking off the hook. It is. I have never seen such a hostile setting. Like it's like Star Trek is like more leaning into the science and stuff. But the third season of Picard is like, here's how horrible science can be to people. it's cool. It is a cool direction that they're taking that show. I highly encourage anyone to check that out. It impressed me. The first 2 seasons of Picard were okay, but this third season is like somebody decided to not pay attention to what the hell they're doing and they went crazy. It is fun. Anyway. Now I know I'm neglecting my channel. Shadowbone, a monster? No, not at all. It's not. It's a serial. It's about people like fantasy. It's like a steampunk setting with like mutant powers, sort of like they call them saints. People that have mutant powers are saints, and there's different flavors, and of course all the main characters have their own abilities that you become aware of over time. But it's all, there's like no like magic. It's all sorcery and psionic stuff like that, and like physical adepts, and like some people can't feel pain, so they're like a really big challenge. Some people can't miss when they shoot. Like they literally can't miss their shot, so they just do insane shots. And they always work out. Other people can manipulate other people, like stuff like that. But it's done really cleverly. And there's a decent, I think it was a novel series first, but there's some pretty good world building inside of it. The first season, it's a little slow in the first. Any really cool sci-fi fantasy something or other is always a little slow the first few episodes, but once it starts rolling, it's super freaking cool. And I'm a snob when it comes to TV shows, so I don't throw down the praise lightly. Clean up that elfy face of yours there, Mr. Man. Yo, this guy's got a twin sister. We'll get to her eventually. There. I don't need to mince on those details too much. I'm mincing. I don't need to. The timer will come along and tell me to move along, but I was able to snap myself out of the reverie fast enough not to have to get barked at by my phone. But that thing saves me, man. There, good line. Good lines. The Eberron stream that I did this morning, it was great. I found a new way to layer water effects. So yeah, I've got a deep level of murk, and then on top of it, I've got this oil slick transparency over it. So it plays with the different opacities for different depths of grittiness. It's fun. It's cool. You can check out that stream if you want to watch more of this crap. But I was really proud of that. It's really fun working on different projects. Like I haven't done any like this. The Eberron Adventure is the first professional cartography, like color cartography that I've done for a DMsGuild project. So I'm pretty excited about it overall. I'm gonna do this and this, and we're gonna go back to that helmet now. Now that we're happy with how these guys are sitting, I am truly happy with how this guy is sitting right now. So this is our helmet, and it looks like crap now, so we're gonna get to fix it. Yeah. All right, let's see that thing on the side here. I'm gonna take a sip of water and see if I can catch up. What up? Victorian X-Men? Well, yeah, kind of, I guess. I mean, it's not like spandex suits and shit, but everyone's got their fancy something or other. It's cool though. It's cool. There's stuff going on with people. It's fun. Yeah, I figured it was. Thanks, Renatico. Dafshin took the sequel series characters, the Crows, yes, and put them in the Shadow and Bone series ahead. Oh, neat. Okay. I don't know anything about the books. I stopped reading books a while ago. I used to read a shitload of Jack L. Chalker back in the 90s. He is a sci-fi artist that would probably be considered misogynistic these days, but he did a lot of he dealt a lot of like body transformation, super science. So, like it was either fantasy or super science, but it was always about characters being forced to change like what their anatomy or physicality is, or like he had a lot of fascism and forcing radical social theories onto the population against their will, and then there be people that would try to resist it at different effects. But like one of the series that he did is called River of the Dancing Gods. It was like a 7-book series, and it sounds tropey now, but you got to remember that this guy built this thing like in 1986, I think. It was about a truck driver and a hooker that he picked up. They got pulled into a fantasy dimension by a high-level wizard like Gandalf or something. And the reason he did that is because the fantasy world is locked in all of these rules that this Council of High Wizards created so that they can control how people could interact to protect their level of power. So like they knew that there's only like a few paths that people would be able to channel their rebellion into becoming these heroes that would play out these heroic tropes that the wizards knew. Like, we know the barbarian is going to try to crash through the gates and rescue the princess. So like it has like all these like super memes that are built into it, but they have a purpose of being there to control a society that would otherwise be able to self-detonate itself through magic and Theurgy. So what this guy did was he found a way to find somebody from another dimension, our truck stop people, and pull them into the world because they weren't bound by the rules of that society. Like they weren't possessed by the magic. So when they got inserted into that reality, the wizard got to choose what mythos they would follow. So like the truck driver became like a Conan character with a cowboy hat, and the hooker became like this earth magic sorceress, and they were sent on these missions to take out people, high powers that were learning how to manipulate the laws of magic to gain. And at one point they had assembled this whole team of heist mission type people, like Ocean's 11 style. And one of the books was about them having to go back to Earth because one of the wizards found out how these guys were coming into this reality, and he wanted to start building his own team. So they built this super squad of like heist thieves or whatever, and the main safecracker. Sorry, step back real quick. Once they found out what TVs were, they started bringing them back to the fantasy world, because if you put a TV in front of a zombie, it would stop and stare at the screen for as long as something was playing on it. So they had VHS and they'd feed in Gilligan's Island, and they'd play the entire episodes just to keep zombie hordes from attacking their teams. And then the thief got fascinated, got obsessed with Mary Ann. So he tried to find her, where she actually lived in real life. It was funny. It was funny. It was a really fun show. It's a really fun, really fun book series. It's it sounds kind of tropey now, but again, this was back before he kind of helped define some of these tropes. So he was one of my favorite. I'd pound through he'd have a 400-page book and I'd kick through one in a day. It was a little ridiculous. But he had all sorts of kick-ass books. It was a lot of fun stuff. Hey, thanks. Oh yeah? What are your character? There. Now that helmet fits proper. No, it's still... No, I've got the angle wrong. It goes like that. I see that. See? And that's gonna... Oh, that explains why I wasn't able to get the circles on top right, because I had my angles wrong. Ugh. Foundations, man. You got to build the form first, and then you got to fill in the details afterwards. If you can hit the form, all the details should feed themselves in behind it properly. This should actually be more like this. But honestly, I kind of like it like that. So I'm going to leave it. It's got that helmety kind of face mask sort of look I like. We got a line that goes like that. Another line that goes like that, and that should be good enough. I'm gonna kick my spiel here real quick and ask people to like and subscribe, because that's what's going to help end up making me successful with Kickstarters when I get around to doing them. If I can amass a large enough audience, then YouTube will be kind to me with algorithms and introduce me to more people, and the more people that catch wind of what we got going on here, the more likely we are to have people's support. So when I start leaving DMsGuild and start doing things independently, what I'd like to do when I start doing Kickstarters is this, but it'll already be paid for. So now it's just, hey, I got $30,000 to build a 100-page book of whatever. And now anyone that bought in on it, jump in on the stream and help me do the artwork. What should we put on this page? That kind of stuff. I think that'd be a fun thing to do. And when I do a Kickstarter, then I can give you a stack of all the art that went along with the book separately from the book itself. I would like to go in that direction. So I'll finish the Spelljammer book, and I will finish the Eberron adventure that I'm working on, and then I will finish Martial Powers, which I stream Martial Powers on Monday at lunchtime. Hey, timely timer! Let's keep it timing. And those will probably be at that point we should know if Wizards, what's going on with Wizards, what's actually going on. And is it going to be safe for me to continue investing in the DMsGuild, or are they going to reference Peanuts, are they going to pull the football out from all of us when we're trying to sprint towards the ball? And if that's what they're going to do, then I'm going to have to shift and change target. I'm going to do this because this feels right. I just don't know what system I'm going to land on. I kind of like the looks of Shadow Dark. I think that's what it's called. That Kickstarter that's going on, that Runehammer is backing up. I might just dive into OSR Beck Me. That's where my roots are. I started playing in 1987. Yeah, 1987 is when I started playing. I started DMing in 1989. And I just kind of kept it up. But if Wizards is going to bail on us, then I'm going to have I'm happy that I was talking about this before I got distracted. The Essence 20 system that's done Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Power Rangers. I like the Essence. I like that Essence 20 system in general. I don't know how licensing works on it or anything, but it may be a pretty natural place for me to land. And if we give it another couple years, which is how long it's going to take for me to finish all the stuff that I want to do, it'll probably be late 2024 by the time I'm done with everything I want to get done. And then it'll be a really natural point for me to take a look around to see, you know, what am I actually supposed to be doing with myself at that point. I used to be a huge Palladium, Rifts and TMNT and Robotech, those role-playing games. Used to be a real big fan of those, but God, I would never want to frickin' design for them because they're like, all their flavor is amazing, but the actual mechanics are kind of a hot mess. Like a 5e Rifts game, I'd play that in a heartbeat. Hey, later, my dude. Thanks for showing up. DNC. Yeah, it's a pickle. Like, I want to make long-term. Like, I want to convert Dragonlance into the mass combat system that I've been developing and rebuild the board game so that you can use my 5e mechanics, so you don't have to buy that $90 piece of crap and save yourself $70-$80 and buy my shit instead. But the hubris on this guy. But I can do it. I know, and it can be done. I know it can be done. I've already ran mass combat a number of playtests, and it runs freaking great. So it's just but it's gonna take. That's a lot of work, man. That is a year of work. And if they're just gonna pull the rug out from underneath me in the middle of it, then fuck you, man. I don't want to do that. Where am I at? There we are. Let's look at that real quick. Interesting. I'm checking where I'm supposed to be at with this. Cool. So yeah, it's a bit of a stink. It would be really, really nice to know, but I mean, obviously they're not going to tell us. You know, on such a down note, I should be less of a downer. I'm being too much of a realist today. I should be more whimsical. We're playing with elves. I should be whimsical. First one at work. Yeah. Playtest bag on has been telling me this is the game I want to actually design. Nice, man. It's great that you found your path so easily. I mean, you've been at it for a while, so it's not like it hasn't been brewing in your heart forever. But it's nice that it was able to manifest itself so cleanly for you. Where'd my music go, buddy? Thank you. I really like Epidemic. It's most of the music on it. I like. I've been listening to most of this. This is a 7-hour playlist that I've just kind of curated over time, and to date, I think I've only trimmed like 3 songs off of it. Like, it's a long enough list. I generally only stream for like at most 3 hours at a time these days, and there's 7 hours worth of content. So, and I have it on a shuffler. So it's kind of like a radio music mix that there's a decent chance I'm going to hear the song once, maybe every 2 or 3 days, but that's it. So it's kind of hard. If I like the songs, it's kind of hard to burn out on them at that pace. That feels pretty good. And this needs to be behind the helmet here. Nope, that feels wrong, doesn't it? Sure does. Let's fix it. Okay, let's find our center line here. It goes like that. There we go. Thank you. So now we know it's the helmet that's wrong. not the crown. Form. It's all about the form, and all the details fill in from form. Nice. I tell you, the confidence in my line work has really escalated in the past 6 months. Like, I used to be real fidgety about laying down line work and curves, but now it's just the spice flows, man. I think I can take this here and let's skew that. Let's pull that in. Nope, that's the wrong. That ain't working. That's the way you do it. Go with skew. Damn, motherfucker, come on. Nice. Yeah, I'm good with that. Cool. I'm going to drop this down a little bit further so his skull flesh doesn't distract me any more than it needs to. Got a circle here and a circle there. I'm going to lay down a new layer here so I don't fuck up what I got going. See, I already fucked up. Feels right. And struggling with the development of your own system, having trouble making the character creation side of things work smoothly. Base rules are functional, cool, but the classes are kind of a mess. How well did the classes interface with the core mechanics that you've developed? Because it could just be that you're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, you know? Not that I know anything about what you're doing. I'm completely talking out of my ass, but since you brought it up, I figured I'd ask. Because if you aren't able to express the characters that you want in your system, it means that there's a misalignment on the narrative and the mechanics. And so then you have to assess, are the mechanics strong enough to bend the characters around them, or is what the character expression attempting to be needing to modify the core mechanics to allow you to the expression that you want more freely, right? But again, I'm talking out of my ass. I honestly don't know what struggle you're facing. That's just what popped in my head. I need to pull that out a little bit further. Make that curve work. To make that a bit bigger. Just like that. Icked. It looks it reminds me of Ultraman. I like how it looks like a fish, but you know, it's just a helmet. It's so funny. I like how helmets do that to people. I might just get out of this. I might just get out of this in One Piece tonight. And speaking of One Piece, I think we're gonna work on Captain Sartel next. Fire little redhead of a captain that you meet in the first chapter of the Lad of Zaraxis, and she is your guide for the first few chapters until you swap out for a GIF ally later in the adventure. Let's do that. There, and then let's merge that down. Merge that down. And we'll boot scoot that forward just a smudge. Right. Almost feels right. I gotta bend this out a bit. Like those ears are gonna get like pressed down like this inside that helmet. I don't feel bad for the elves. It's their fault for having such pointy ears. But I'm concerned about them being crimped. I will give you that. Morenico says, classes just feel like they're not that different from each other. Okay. And that the only way to make them more unique is to make several hundreds of variation example powers and differentiate them. Oh yeah, now you're into a skill system, right? Are you trying to stay in a class system or do you want a skill system? Very different language, right? There we go. Hell yeah, I hit that mark. Nice. Yeah, that's the real stink about option systems, skill systems, is that everything once you find the optimal skill set, everything kind of just like dovetails into. Well, it doesn't dovetail. It funnels into that same solution. I'm a big enthusiast of. I like the feat system that 3E really leaned into. I mean, Pathfinder 2 like really overdosed on that. But if you're in, like, that's too far. I don't know. It theoretically the design fits well. It's got class structure and a shitload of feats to back it up. I think it's I don't know. Maybe I just don't dig the aesthetics. Like the fourth the problem I have the same problem with with PF2 as I had with 4th edition, in that when I start just looking at a page of like little 5-line bar tables like power, feet, and it's all in that same format, like diamond. It's like, oh, it's all the same. Like that natural. I hate natural language in 5e. Just I like codification and I like the structure. I like structured language that you can lean into that recurring code, but I don't like it. Like, because I honestly use a lot of that recurring idea in the Spelljammer book that I've got going here, but the deep radical end of it is, there it is, finally. The deep end of it is just like a page full of bars, and not just a page, like 40 pages of bars. It's just, I mean, you know, if it was like a vodka, it'd be one thing, but it ain't. I'm probably just picky. Satisfaction guaranteed. Nope, not satisfied yet. I spy with my eye. How do you like it now? I'm going to let's make that a touch bigger and rotate and click that in the face there. Now we can pull it down a touch. Perfect. Nice. I'm good with it. I mean, it's not perfect, but sometimes perfect is actually just good enough. Whew, dilly. Okay, so now I'm going to duplicate this layer. Duplicado. This one's going to be called hat. So we've got the. Let's push this up. Let's just reset where we're at here for a moment. So we've got no hat. We've got. Oops, we need to fix the hatted version. Whoa. There we go. Good. Oh, interesting. Let's fix that. Do that, and then so that sits proper. But when we get rid of it, you got those gaps, and then those gaps get filled in. I got some grit and stuff down here I gotta fix. But there now we have the helm to look, and I think I'm good enough with that. Hey, how about that? Perfect timing. So let's move on to the next thing. I think I am satisfied with we'll call him Prince Zalith. That's his name. And we did a Plasmoid Explorer 2 days ago. I'm pretty happy with how that guy sits. He's gonna look really nice when I color it. But let's see what's next. I don't want to do any more elves for now. Fuck you, elves. Let's go down, and God, so many elves. Get out of my face. We'll get to them, but I want to play with Captain Sartell for now. That's the art that came out of the Lazaraxis. I'm not allowed to just pick up the art and use it myself, and I certainly just don't want to copy the shit, so I can take cues from it, though, as a reference. Build my own thing, so that's what we're doing. Captain Sartell there. Hey Dennis, how you do? Fishman. 5 defined rules and ways the bow wielding paladin doesn't work. I guess it would be best if I switch tracks to focus more on making the classes more unique and dynamic rather than just offering the optional powers every couple levels. Well, yeah, I mean, or like, yeah, I mean, there's the blend. That's my opinion anyway. Let's take this down to, yeah, these are only 300 pixel squares, so it's not like I have a lot of depth I need to do, but let's take a look at this real quick. Not red. Sure is. Neat. All right. I'm gonna stay here for a moment. All right. Nailed it. Next. As I call this spin doodling, when I just fill a space with squiggle lines, it creates, like, I can see where form can pop out. A lot of my filigree and details come out of this sort of style. Pull down the opacity. Super used to super customized systems. Fair. Mutant Masterminds is pretty good most of the time, so I keep forgetting that not everyone is into that type of system. When I was in 3rd edition, my our whole table revolved around an EN publishing supplement called 4 Colors to Fantasy. And it was a point buy system where, like, at 20th level, you had like 150 points to spend on effects, like supernatural, extraordinary, or spell-like effects, or like magic items, to build out a hero type character, like a fantasy superhero type character, and it would do things like. It was really interesting because it didn't give you a thing that you would then be able to figure out different ways to manipulate it. Like 1E, like original Beckme was like, you've got this Tensor's floating disk. Try to think of what you can do creative with it, and there you go, because it's just a disk and it floats. There you go. But the 4 Colors to Fantasy was more about, like, you can restrain somebody within 30 feet with like a targeted, like with a ranged spell attack. If you hit, they're restrained for like D4 rounds or something. And it's like, hey, I have this web. Can I use it to swing from the ceiling? It's like, no, you have to gain the flight capability that is reduced in cost because it requires an anchor to hinge your flight off of. So you're swinging with a web. Like, that would cost you, like, say, web slinging would like cost you 3 points versus flying would be like 5 points. That sort of thing. Like, it was super specific. Like, what exactly does that thing do? And you would then break down the point cost of the value of that task that you're performing. And, oh God, I can see you now. We'll start here. So it was like super specific point value spins. So we'd build Gestalt characters, and like one side of the Gestalt tree would just be nothing but powers, like 150 points worth of powers, please. And then like sorcerer on this side. You would just kit out these just destruction machines. It was so fun. It was ridiculous. 3E was just so gonzo. So gonzo. So I feel you, man. I like that. Well, I mean, my martial power system is like got that same like high level customization, but it's all sitting inside of the normal framework of like ranger or fighter or barbarian. So it has high structure, but it uses the Eldritch Knight progression and then like all these different things you can kit into. So having a lot of structure that you can then bend and break is a decent approach. I'm gonna take this. You know, I'm not there yet. I really shouldn't give a crap about her face right now. I'm still working on form. Not bad. I like how it's coming along so far. Everything is point blank. Also, hyper-specific approach to monster has a hard to get used to or something. It sounds like a level, like a type of, like its own type of system mastery, which requires investment. Rollmaster is kind of the same way in that like everything that you buy gives you like a percentile increased chance of succeeding at whatever skill roll you're attempting. Like Rollmaster is all percentiles, or at least it used to be back in the day when I was familiar with it. Like you'd spend 3 experience points, you get like a 0.2% increased chance of being able to hit with your sword. you know, but you get a crap load of experience points, so it was like super hyper specific, and that was its appeal, like massive customization, but it had that GURPS sort of cold mechanical feel to it, you know, like nothing. It was weird how like disconnected mechanics were back in the like 80s and 90s. It's like the idea, like Roll20, not Roll20, the D20 system, like unifying everything underneath a D20 die roll to resolve all your mechanics, was really radical when that came out. Because up until then, it was all like thieves are using percentile dice and fighters are using a D20 to make attacks, and a wizard is having you make saving throws, but isn't making any attacks directly, or doesn't have any rolls at all. It just happens. So there's a lot of different, like each class kind of expressed itself differently in 3rd edition. Even when D20 started hitting with 3rd edition, 3rd edition had so many, like 3rd edition D&D had so many microsystems, like the Book of Nine Swords versus Tome of Magic versus Incarnum Magic. They're all these different mechanical systems that all operated inside of the same D20 system, but they all had such a radically different narrative flavor to them that, like, I don't know, we did so much kit bashing and character building during that time at my table, that we liked how different all the mechanical systems were, because you could you could use you could use a vestige from what was that stuff called? Damn it. The magic was called it was the vestiges. Fuck, I can't remember the name. Anyway, it'd be like if you channeled this certain type of spirit, you'd get like 2d6 sneak attack damage. And so you could gain access to sneak attack prestige classes without having to take any levels in rogue, because at first level you took a vestige that would grant you, 2d6 sneak attack dice. So there's all this like rule bending that you could do to make these crazy optimized builds that all work together, because they're in the same, they're all inside the same game, but they all work just radically different from each other, and they scaled power differently. So the challenge was to find different paths to hit the same benchmarks in character performance, so that you could qualify for exotic prestige classes at earlier levels to be able to tweak out a little bit more power inside your 20 level span. So that was it was its own little game system. It was fun. Like the mini game of just that's like where that class brewing came from in 3rd edition, because the goal was, how quickly can I gain access to this prestige class, and what's the optimal path to grant me access to that stuff? What combination of different classes could I take that would grant me access to this unique class quicker? And once I'm there, how well could I exploit the powers that it gave access to with the things that you chose to get there in the first place? Like you might be able to get there really fast with one class selection, but once you get there, none of those class options really help you build power any further. So it was an interesting little, like, theory crafting became a thing in 3rd edition. And it got destroyed in 5e, because 5e was like, basically every level you got like 2 or 3 things you could pick from. Fuck you. So it really killed a lot of that flavor, like that craving for design that Pathfinder was able to exploit really, really efficiently. Because Wizards lost their audience. They decided to go in another direction, apparently so they could build a VTT. Big shocker, they lose their audience. At least the Wizards learned from that mistake by at least claiming the system is the same while building the virtual tabletop. It's like, this system, you like this system, you can now use it on VTT. And plus, people weren't addicted to phones like they are now. So it's Like mobile games is a legitimate market, like heavily proven at this point. So it's as long as they can get some people playing it, they're going to end up making money with it over time. It's a long game solution, but it's a great business strategy ran by people who don't give a damn about role-playing games. Says I. But hey, I'm judgy. Did I miss something? Back to auto error. Have the other mechanical implications as you level up, seeing feet every level is sometimes I personally get negative feedback. Yeah, great. So I'm not crazy there. Sorry, you guys got a lot more conversation going than I have the ability to absorb while I'm painting. Repetition information causes yes, because there's not enough. Like that's why you need art on a page. You need to have you have to engage your brain in a different way. Artwork stimulates imagination, and the text of the textbook mechanics of the role-playing game, when you're talking about like just mechanical development, that engages rule sets that your brain can then hinge off of to then, like if you've got a really well composed page, you're introducing mechanical concepts about what a character can do, and then the artwork that you have on that page is allowing you to express this is how cool your character is when using these mechanics. And then when you start getting into character options, if it's just a giant wall of these all feel the same after a while, that table format is both engaging the visual stimulation and the text logic at the same time, and it causes them to burn out together. So like tiny little tables like that, I think are a bad idea, because you're burning both sides of that bridge at the same time, and then you're just kind of stranded with I gotta take a break. It's like this is too much physics for me. I can't take it. So I like that 5e. I like the idea of the natural language. Like theoretically it's good. It's just really difficult to stay inside of because there's so little code built into what 5e is currently, that like when you're reading something you get it after a while, but it takes you a little while it might take you a little while, like where did I hear this before? Why do I get this? Like it intuitively makes sense, but being able to build it so it feels intuitive like that is a really strong skill set. Like you have to develop that. So it's like writing in Shakespearean, you know? It's like it's its own unique cadence that is anything but natural to develop inside of. So I like the codification system. It can't look like it's too hard coded. So where did I miss up here? Okay, I'm up to speed there. Yeah, well said. Well said. Functions of the classes, I like that. Do a bit of... Whoop. Where are we at? It's 8:10. Cool, we're okay. Hoover, are you around still, dude? Do a bit of a comparison through the evolution of RPG. Oh, I see what you're asking. Because I've been around for a while. Yeah, it used to be... Yeah, there was... maybe I already touched on this in my ramblings. So... I'm going to do 5e ports. Okay, I think I'm almost up to speed. All right, cool. I'm up to speed. Nope, wrong angle. I'm gonna actually cut this off. I'm not gonna throw it away. I'm just gonna cut it off for a minute. Oh, yeah, well, we'll just do that instead. I'm about to lose something I don't want to lose. I like that. I like how that hair sweeps. All right, this is when I do a duplicate. There. Now I can be fearless. Perfect. Captain Waifu on deck. Heyo. What up, sister soldier? Lead me into battle. No, too cramped. Cut paste. It's a nice idea, but it's not quite jiving. Oh, that's the problem. It's too busty. Damn, girl. I gotta cut your curves a bit. This is where I risk losing the energy. There's a lot of the, like I was talking about earlier on, about broken, inaccurate, exaggerated anatomy creates dynamic fluid movement. kind of like how like Bugs Bunny cartoons would stretch the form of the characters while they're moving to cheat movement with less frames by distorting their anatomy, like pulling their limb further than it's supposed to be to exaggerate the reach that they might be depicting. So but in that animation, it's hard to catch it unless you're doing, frame by frame. Where in illustration here, you're freeze framing, like you're catching a keyframe of whatever animation is going on in your head. And so if you're catching and those distortions only happen in tweens, the between frames, where your eye is only catching it for a glimpse of a second. So it's registering the distortion as movement, and it's not actually happening. So when I a lot of illustrators, I'm just one of them, so I'm just using me personally as the example, but a lot of times an illustrator will be able to capture this in-between motion of exaggeration. It looks really cool when it's a rough sketch, but as you grind down the anatomy into accurate anatomy, that distortion naturally fades. The structure of what anatomy is supposed to be destroys the fluid dynamics, because as you grind the character into realistic anatomy, you lose all the flavor and flair that drew you to that pose in the first place. So you really kind of have to keep an eye on, like, are you keeping the fluidity of the character that you design, and are you in the process of killing it? And so my biggest, I guess, one of my larger hurdles that I'm dealing with right now is pretty much that, in that I'm trying to learn how to have an acceptable anatomy distortion for the fluidity and energy, while being accurate enough anatomy that you're like, okay, well, that processes, I get it. Like, I'm not gonna fight. Like, I'm not gonna what do they call it? You will not break the suspension of disbelief with your anatomy, because, again, the style that you develop, it's aesthetically pleasing enough that I want it to work. So my eye will lie to me for you, because my eye is pleased with what you've produced. So anyway, that's the thought behind that. My nugget. Nice smart nugget for the moment. Let's go with bigger. Hated it. Merge down. Wasn't I just here a moment ago with that face? Oh, but the framing's different now. I see how I did. Nice. Still going. Now I'm trying to pull that nose up again. Oy vey. But this time it feels a little bit better. There she is. There she is. Nice work, sister. Fuck yeah. I wish I liked doing character arc commissions because I fucking love making characters. I just hate all the character requests I get. It's like, please don't force your fucking edgelord down my gullet. I don't care how many hundreds you want to pay me. I hate it. I hate your character. Go away. I wish I could be inspired by characters' art. I used to be really excited to be able to, you know, get that good boy praise and a decent pocket of cash for it, but it's just you really gotta love what you're doing if you're going to do art. Like the risk of burnout is severe when you're just monetizing the skill that you had. Like, you really better be in love with the work that you're doing if you're gonna grind out like 40 hours on something or whatever, which I think is one of the great benefits about like getting really good at art, like, so you don't have to kill yourself. Like this level of quality used to take me like 5 hours, and this is like, what was that, 40 minutes? So I mean, we're not done yet. So, I mean, I won't hold my breath. We have no idea how long it's going to take for me to say, okay, I'm actually done with this. But it's not going to be 5 hours. We're going to be back in the morning for a 2-hour burst. So, I mean, if this stuff is cool and you like it, definitely like and subscribe so that I can keep showing up on in your inbox and you can swing by and see what I got going on. I think I'm gonna do ship art tomorrow, probably. We're gonna grab one of the pages out of the book that I'm content with the layout so far, and you know, see what ideas come out at us for us to throw down as sketches like this. But you know, ships and shit. Fuck yeah, that's cool. Like the style of art that I do, I really have no idea what I'm producing. Like we started like with the Swerble thing, right? And then the form started to pop out at me. Do we still have one laying around, or did I? Yeah, got to there, and now we're here. Like, it keeps bending. I really don't know where the document is going to end. I just you know, I push the pixels. Bring the energy. It just locked up, so I have to close out of the program and open it up again. How much time do I have left on this? Because I think I'm going to switch gears. 3 minutes. Still have half hour ish. But I digress. Excuse me. Just gonna have our hand on our hip. I'm gonna be content with that. The caboose is giving a lot of energy into her pose, but I think I need to shave it down a bit. Sorry, babe. I had to de-junk your trunk. Where are we going from here? We're gonna stick around on this? I'm feeling like I want to get in a fight with that arm, but I'm not sure. I guess I'm just going to sit here and mince on this for a little bit. That's okay. I'm liking the character. background anymore. All right, this is our last 20-minute burst. So when that alarm pops, I'll be done for the night. But then we're going to be back on in about 10 hours. So we'll do another couple hours worth of something else. And then I've got family in town, so I will be done for the weekend. But I'll be back on Monday morning. So I'll be on for 2 hours tomorrow morning, and then I'll be out. And then I'll be back on again on Monday morning. I feel like I should free transform equals. Not bad. This seems to kind of wish into existence. Like the line art is there, but it's not defined. Like it's just like a it's a cloud in my mind. You know, I don't really know what it is. It's just as the pixels get pushed, the form starts to become clear because it starts to just snap into something that I'm familiar with. God knows how many belts I've drawn in my day. Jazz, K-Y-O-T, the coyote. Love that smooth jazz, man. I used to hate smooth jazz, but now I love it for some stupid reason. I think it's because the notes slide around, like they scale smoothly. There's not like a lot of hard breaks. I think that's the lure of that smooth jazz feeling. It's lullish, you know, like it lulls you. It's gentle. Boom, 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 boom. All right, I can. Cut that out. Pass it down. Let's build something. Go with the generic point, but not pointing point. No complaint. It's not bad for an hour. Not bad for an hour's work. Hey, what up? Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you hanging out. Hopefully my rambles were fun. Thanks for the traffic, Fred. I really appreciate it. And I am really looking forward to seeing where you try to take the 5-year-old adventure. That's a hell of a challenge, my dude. Looking forward to it. Very, very much looking forward to the next. See you on the other side, my guy. I think I need to bring in that junk some more. Probably means I can push that back. We are so close. There we go. I think we're about to hit our mark. Diggity damn. I think I'm pretty good with this. What are you trying to do, little fish? Get. What? No. What just happened? No, I don't want you to dock. The hell? Where'd my tools go? Why did I just lose all my tools? Yes. Okay. Yeah, that tangent was weird. Now we're on cleanup. Wow, I'm a little impressed that I created this in an hour. That's not bad. Some new level shit for Phil. I normally don't produce this level of quality in that short of a time frame. Bam, motherfucker, there it is. All right, it's 8:58 here in Seattle. I am going to shut down for the night. I'm going to be back in 9 hours, and we'll figure out. We'll do something. I don't know what we're gonna do. The muse will tell us what we do when I wake up, and then we'll do it. It'll be either Spelljammer or Eberron. So, damn, I am pleased with this. I'm gonna just another little twist there, and take this and all of that. Drop all of that into the trash. And that is our sketch. I'm really happy with that. Turned out good. It turned out a hell of a lot better than Prince Zeleth did. But that's the difference. That's the difference in me structuring something off of another piece as opposed to just freewheeling. My freewheel sketching's getting pretty good. Right on. I'm pleased. I'm gonna break my arm, pat myself on the back real quick, and then call it a night. So I will. Yeah, like I said, I'll be back in about 9 hours, and we'll just keep doing whatever it is that we're gonna do. So like, subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at Phil Kearney. There's a shitload of books that I have down in the description down below. All of them are 100% free to view. If you like this, there's like maybe 150 illustrations in those books. So take your time, open up a PDF, flip through them, see if you like them. If you're a D&D enthusiast, if you think any of the ideas are cool, you want to put them into your campaign, consider picking up a copy of it to support, to support the effort. But otherwise, liking and subscribing and consuming some hours of other content that I've produced would certainly go a long way to helping me as well. So I will see y'all on the other side, and I hope you have a good night. So, cheers.